Hey, yo, Chaps, the fuck is up?
Ain't shit to it but the door, little dog. You feel me? Yeah, Zersky.
Yeah, homies. I need to stop looking at the fucking screen and look at the damn. Like, come on, cuz. Y'all can't even see. Man, look, this bitch nice. Brother. I'm finna take a nap after this, hopefully. So, instantly, y'all, boom, chilling. Just got done doing some little adultery shit. Ho! Let me show y'all something real fast. This just finna be a funny little opener, little icebreaker of the shit real quick. Hold on. Reaction screen, what you call it. Just to set the tone. Just to start the tone off. Adultery is defined as voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and someone other than that person's current spouse. It's nothing to know. I was doing some adulting. You feel me? I was doing some adulting. You feel me? Motherfuckers discussing this whole situation about fucking, I'm finna get my bathroom redone with me and my girl. So it's like an investment we doing. So that's how I'm like, hold on. This nigga. It just be my pronunciation. And also, I've been on my ass. I feel like I talk with this like hold back, which I do. I kind of talk at times where I be talking with like no confidence, bro. There don't be no confidence in my voice at times. A lot of times I just be speaking kind of, you know. I've been trying to shy out of that, like shy away from that more so and just really be myself. So yeah. But today, reaction. Shout out my boy 1090J. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. You feel me, doggy? And I just seen Mac Muller do a little reaction to this vid right here. So I'm like, I'm finna do a reaction to this vid too because fuck that. And not because Mac did it, but I was finna watch Mac, but I also just said in my last video, I'm kind of finna try to shy away from not watching Mac so much because that kind of do seem a little lazy, just a little bit. Seem like I don't want to go do my own research and go find videos and shit. Like, you kind of. So I'm like, yeah, let me just do me. So we finna do this one, and I'm happy it's only 14 minutes because anything more than 24 minutes, bro, that low-key is a hard watch. Like, anything over 20 minutes is hard for me. Now, after I smoke, especially, nigga, I'll be ready to go to sleep on y'all ass. Yeah, watch. I'll be watching that motherfucker.
Create.
Some shit, though.
September 9th, 2025. YNW Bortlen shook the internet as he took a plea deal that was live streamed to YouTube. Facing 5 life sentences with an additional 75 years in Florida State Prison, Bortlen's legal team was able to do the damn near impossible. Pleading no contest, the state agreed to drop 2 counts of first-degree murder for the shooting deaths of YNW Juvie and Sack Chaser.
But how?
They'd also drop a conspiracy to tamper with the witness and a count of directing gang activities.
Because
by entering a plea of no contest, Bortlen has not admitted guilt, has not admitted the existence or involvement in a gang, and has not implicated himself or others in the murder. In exchange for his plea, Bortlen has been found guilty of 1 count of tampering with a witness, 2 counts of being an accessory to a capital felony, and 1 count of unlawful use of a 2-way communication device. Bortlen has been sentenced to 10 years in Florida State Prison on these charges, to be followed by 6 years of probation. He was also credited for his time in jail. Bortlen was arrested back in 2019 and would have received...
Bortlen finna come home in 2030. 2029, 2030. Let's read these comments real fast. Being called a rat and Chuck E. Cheese by a lawyer in 2025 is wild. A lawyer saying he doesn't represent snitches is wild. The 7-year-old man calling you a rat is crazy when it comes to 5 life sentences. I'm telling on everybody. It's so easy to call someone a rat while you're out in the free world enjoying freedom. Fun fact, Melly done tried to pin the murders on Bortlen during his last trial. I'm not surprised Bortlen did this just off that.
A bond for 15 months.
But they just said he didn't even...
In October of 2023, he'd be rearrested, remaining in jail until now, lasting an additional 23 months.
Oh, October 2, okay.
Bortlen did a total of 38 months in jail,
which is
just over 3 years. Yeah, see, I know meaning his 10-year sentence is already down to 7. Due to Florida law, 85% of a prison sentence must be completed. So if Bortlen is on his best behavior,
2027.
Just under 6 years.
Wait, my fault. Tweaking. 2030 something.
This plea deal for 2 capital murders is nothing short of fucking amazing. But it
I was right, like 2030.
That has the
2020 between like 2029 and
just
2030.
after letting Bortlen know everything that came with the plea, the judge would highlight the fact that after the plea is made, the state wants to take a proffer from Bortlen. An immediate flag on the play. A proffer is defined under Florida law as an agreement to speak with prosecutors to share information. This would lead everyone from Say Cheese, academics, No Jumper, my fucking self, and even Melly's old lawyer Bradford Cohen to assume the worst. Bortlen was now going to snitch on Melly.
All right, let's talk YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen. He is now doing the triple Lindy. For those youngsters that don't know what the triple Lindy is, it is when you do several flips off a high dive, and he will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double murder case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve, he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time.
Wouldn't be a reaction if I didn't speak. A lot of reactions sometimes, I just be shutting up and kind of talk, but I don't really say shit like, damn, that's crazy. But when it comes to like people around my age and shit like that, bro, I like speaking upon shit. And then when it comes to these lawyers and shit trying to do this, one, I hate the fact that we in a time, bro, where like YouTube is just so... YouTube is just so... It's not corny. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to call it corny, but it's filled with corny stuff. Too much corny stuff, bro. A lot of corny content. As a lawyer, you shouldn't be getting on no platform calling another person a cheese eater. A rat, a mouse, or anything, bro. It's not your job. It's unprofessional. What are you doing? Even if you feel this, that, and the third, whatever, but see, y'all lawyers be trying too hard nowadays to fit in with the time, bro. Be a Bruce Rivers. You feel me? Bruce Rivers just literally, he just listens to music and reacts to songs and just tell you how, if a lawyer in any way, if they wanted to try, if they end up going to court or anything for any of this, what could be used and how, or what couldn't be used and why. And kind of break it down like, you know, this song in here, they'll do this, and this song, they'll do this, and probably that, and this, and probably use that and this. And then motherfuckers, like, certain people was trying to look at it like, he's snitching, like, what? How is a lawyer who's trying to open your eyes telling? Bro, he, just like everybody else, bro, these prosecutors, they go and listen to music and shit, bro. They try to go as far as they can because they don't be having nothing. So they got to use whatever. It comes down to the music where y'all probably speak the most. But that's just another situation. But my whole point is, these lawyers be tweaking. For you to get on here and speak on another man's life, talking about he switched sides, I was just waiting. I knew he was going to snitch. What you trying to sound like, bro? What you mean? Now, this is what's so crazy. If he makes, his statement can be whatever. Because obviously it's not going to just be a sentence. You feel me? His statement can be pages long and it could just be him lying. Mixing shit up. Anything, bro. You don't know what he gonna say, he can still lie. And be like, you know what I'm saying? And put it to words like, nigga, we ain't do nothing. We ain't do nothing. But he gotta have a better fighting chance, bro. Because if you facing life and they really trying to throw life at you, it's damn near no reason to really fight it. So he ain't saying shit. In this case, you got a chance to go home now for real. Soon as fuck too. Way sooner. Like, it went from multiple life sentences to, bro, you finna come home in 5 years. For real. So, I'm like, gang, whole time it's like, when they do shit like that, when they go from offering 3-4 life sentences to talking about 10, 15 years, you gotta know there's something. all the terms can be decent, nice, or whatever. Like, oh, you ain't got to do this and that. But we need you to do this one thing, which still involves you have to say something. That's what Gunna explained up in, what fucking song is it? I forgot. I done made two, you know the cadence of that, you feel me? I just can't think of the words, I'm smoking. But, no, was it that song? Whatever song. When Gunna got out, bro, in one of his songs, he basically explains somewhat where he like, bro, the lawyers and the court, the DAs, the courts, the lawyers, they all did some sneaky shit. You know what I'm saying? And slid it right under his nose, right past him, bro. You don't, like, most of us, we can know the law, but unless we trying to go on the law, we ain't gonna know all the laws. So they gonna still be able to probably, like, finesse some shit potentially. And based upon lawyers, they are there to get paid, but they're there to try to look like they're defending you in the best way possible. But they also gotta know how to come to the end of with a case, bro. They gotta know how to close it out, bro. So that's when it comes to the point where some of these lawyers will go sit there and talk to the judges and all of the, you feel me, the prosecutors and shit, and they'll come up with something because they probably know, like, it's getting to a point where, like, you know, it's probably looking bad. They don't really want to tell their client. They're kind of telling them, but they don't really want to tell them, so they got to go behind their back and do this or whatever. And this, that, and the third. And then you end up in a situation like this or like Gunna where it's like you end up basically either telling or having to somewhat tell in some way, even if you don't have to give a statement, you got to agree to some things. You got to agree to say yes to these things. In order to get these terms, you have to tell us this. That's how they get you.
But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip, and it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible. But depending on what he says, it will make the YNW Melly case a lot more difficult to try, but still not impossible. I've had cases where there were flipping witnesses where, I had a federal case with several flipping witnesses where we still got a not guilty. And it's possible to still get a not guilty in this case. Obviously, it's going to make it a lot more difficult. He has an excellent lawyer, by the way, Fred Haddad, who's a friend of mine, and I know Fred would have done a very good job for him at trial. But ultimately, it is an individual's decision whether or not to become Chuck E. Cheese. And in this case, he has become Chuck E. Cheese. Is Chuck E. Cheese a mouse or a rat? I'm not sure. Crazy. But long story short is he will be flipping.
Are you serious?
And it's going to make the case against YNW Melly a lot more difficult to win.
Now, as a man, I always leave room to stand corrected in any situation. And I have to give a shout out to my boy Seti Nash for his thorough journalism in this case. Bortlen's main lawyer, Fred Haddad, would release a statement saying, "I don't represent snitches. Cortland Henry is not a snitch, and he will not be cooperating or testifying in YNW Melly's trial. Anyone who claims differently has not seen the plea deal and has no idea what they're talking about." Well, in my humble opinion, what the fuck else would a prophet be other than the snitch? Why would the state want to sit down with Bortlen if he wasn't obligated by the plea deal to cooperate against the main man they believe is the shooter? Why would Bortlen's sentence go from 5 life sentences plus 75 to only serving 7 years in prison? What else would they have to talk about when the only thing left to do in the case is convict Melly? Even the judge would tell Bortlen in court, "I don't know how your lawyers pulled this off." Well, I reached out to Bortlen's other lawyer, Joe Nascimento, who further clarified Bortlen has not agreed to testify and will not provide any statement implicating Melly or anyone else. This plea agreement brings closure to Bortlen's cases and will be the last time he appears in a courtroom.
Hey, 1090 Jake. Thanks for giving me the chance to clear up a lot of the confusion and just chaos that's happening online right now after YNW Bortlen's plea this afternoon went viral on social media. It's clear that a lot of people just don't understand what has happened. So I want to start by talking about what he was charged with. He was facing 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of accessory after the fact of first-degree murder, tampering with a witness, conspiracy to tamper with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal gang, and utilization of a two-way communication device to commit a felony. In all, he is facing 5 mandatory life sentences if found guilty, plus an additional 75 years on top of that. The facts of his plea are that he has pled no contest. That's very important because that means he has not admitted guilt. He's not admitted that he's done anything wrong, and he's certainly not admitted or given information about anybody else. He's been found guilty, but in exchange, the state has dismissed the 2 murder counts, the conspiracy to tamper with a witness count, and the charge about directing the activities of a criminal gang. He's going to be sentenced to 10 years in Florida State Prison, followed by 6 years of probation with credit for time that he has served. And he's required, as a part of that, to sit down and give what's called a proffer. Typically, when you hear the word proffer, especially in a criminal case, it's when a witness offers information or will explain what they would testify to if called at trial or a hearing. It's unfortunate that we use that word today in court because that's not what's going to happen in this case. Bortlen is not going to sit down and give a lengthy proffer or answer questions about what he would testify to if he were called as a witness, because we don't anticipate him being called as a witness at any trial or any hearing, especially not one involving Melly. What I can tell you is that Bortlen is not going to implicate anybody else. He's not going to provide information against anybody else. Melly's name is not even going to come out of his mouth when he's talking to prosecutors in this case. I anticipate the conversation with the prosecutors is going to be very, very brief. And it is not going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be online, where he sits down and rats or provides information to cooperate against other people. So a lot of people are saying that Bortlen's plea and his proffer are going to hurt Melly in some way and affect his trial in the future. And again, that's absolutely untrue. YNW Bortlen is not going to be a state witness. YNW Bortlen is not going to provide information that's going to impact Melly's trial in any way. YNW Bortlen is not expected to come and provide information against anybody. So to be clear, his plea, his proffer, and anything surrounding it will have absolutely no impact on Melly's trial. I want to add just a little bit more background to what's happened over the past couple of weeks. Neither defense nor the state wanted this case to go to trial this month. We believe that our case should be stayed until after Melly's appeals are resolved and his case is ready for trial, because our anticipation was that Melly's case would be tried before Bortlen's. However, the judge denied our request for a continuance and denied our request to stay Bortlen's case pending Melly's appeals. So we were moving forward to trial, and we knew that we had a very strong defense to the murder counts. But for Bortlen to be successful, he would have to beat every single count, keeping in mind that he was facing 5 mandatory life sentences. So for him to take a deal that he's almost already served at least half of the sentence already, he doesn't have to admit that he did anything wrong. He doesn't have to testify against anybody else. He doesn't have to provide information that would affect Melly or anybody else about anything related to this case or any other case. It was a no-brainer for him to ensure that he gets to walk out of prison one day and live his life versus rolling the dice with a random jury, no matter how strong his defense is and how...
Bro, I just said all of this, didn't I?
So I'm really hoping that people can understand that and understand that it was a very tough decision for him.
Because...
but it was very important to him that his decision have no impact on others.
Because when I explain stuff, that's why I said now I'm going to start doing more, just like, instead of like, watching that, because people like, people feel like, some people feel like I'm basically like trying to react off his reactions, but most of the time I pause before he say something, and then I'll say what he says, and then I'll play it, and right after I say that, he'll literally pause and he'll say the same exact thing that I just said, because I damn near explain what I feel like he gonna say and what I feel, whatever, you know what I'm saying, based off whatever. But in this sense, like, when I do my own reactions, I really, like, I feel like I give real sense, you know what I'm saying, for you to understand it. So, real quick, like I said, in the whole sense with Gunna versus Young Thug and everything, who is like the main artist? in the whole YSL besides Thug. It was Gunna. You had Lil Kid, and you had others. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But who was the main person right underneath Thug? It was Gunna. Like, you hear how he just was doing the interviews. If y'all tapped in, he over there crying and all of that shit. You feel me? I'm talking about Thug and shit like that. You feel me? Gunna living his life. Did Gunna somewhat fuck up and almost have Thug really fighting for his life? Yeah, but did Thug end up coming out? Yeah, and that's what everyone trying to make Thug understand. Is like, he like, bro, how do I understand that when I'm hurt? Like, a motherfucker just had me damn near finna do life, but you not doing it, bro. And I know it's hard to just look at like, well, you not doing, at least you're not doing life. If Melly do end up getting some type of more time, or once he go through trial and they try to hit him with some shit, as long as it ain't life and it ain't like no 30 pieces and shit, if it's like another 10, 15 years, maybe 20, like, he already done did like 7, 8 years, like, you feel me? I don't know if it's been that long, but it's been a long time. So, like, he's already did a nice majority, you feel me? So, like, if they was to try to send us some, say they try to give him like 20 years, he probably will only do another like 5, 6, was still a long time. But he will still have some time to like get out at some point, you know what I'm saying? It ain't a life sentence. That's like the same thing. This man was just facing 5 concurrent, basically 6 concurrent life sentences, bro. Ran back to back to back to back. You feel me? And it went from that to being able to face 16 years, bro. 10 in and 6 out, which you already completed in about 3, 4. So you only got to do 7, but you only got to complete 85% of your time. So I don't even know if he got to do the whole 7. He probably only got to do like 5 and some change, maybe 6 or some change or something, whatever, and then he gonna come home. And then the rest is just for him to be on his toes, just swivel, connect with the right people. He's already famous, already got a nice name and everything. He's gonna come out not a snitch, no nothing. So a lot of people are gonna want to work with him, are gonna fuck with him, and he just gotta really just make sure he chooses the right people, because a lot of these people in the rap game that's rich and super famous and popular, bro, they actually got a lot of shit going on behind closed doors too. So he just gotta, get out and maneuver right. That's it, bro. But that's what I say.
While we don't know what Bortlen will be saying in his proffer with the prosecutors, the judge made it clear whatever he says will have no effect on his plea deal. Meaning, he could apparently say anything, or not much of anything at all. Bortlen technically didn't beat the murders, the charges would drop. So if he sat down and admitted to the murders, he would be recharged. And with that in mind, I wonder if Bortlen would be able to plead the 5th, invoking his 5th Amendment right, which guarantees no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. Meaning Bortlen could potentially refuse to speak to keep himself from further incriminating himself. We won't know until it happens, and we'll have to wait until then to see what's actually said. Normally very vocal, YNW Melly's mom has remained silent after Bortlen's plea, and she was present when it happened. No word has come from Melly's legal team, as he's now represented by legal powerhouse Drew Finley. And even Bradford Cohen, Melly's old lawyer, would backtrack from his initial statement.
I would say it's like having another producer in the room that knows exactly what your song needs. This is co-producer. The
Statement about Bortlen.
All right, let's get to it. Let's talk YNW Bortlen and YNW Melly. The information is coming in fast and furious to my office. People are calling me left and right. They saw the post. You know what time it is. And they are telling me that YNW Bortlen is not going to be a flipper, and he is not going to be the cheese eater I previously said that he could become. And he is going to give a statement. I don't know what that statement's going to be, but his attorney is an excellent attorney. He's one of my good friends and really helped me out as a young attorney. Fred Haddad, a great guy. And he represented very, very few, if any, flippers in the past. That's why I was kind of surprised at first. But it turns out, the rumor on the street, YNW Bortlen is not going to be a flipper,
He
but
definitely
he
got
will
a
give a proffer.
better lawyer than.
So at this time,
he got
1090 Jake.
Bro, real quick, Bortlen's brother, not brother. Bortlen's lawyer is basically why? Fuck, man, my fault. But Bortlen's lawyer is basically YNW Melly's old lawyer, big bro, mentor. Crazy how that worked. Like, he basically, before Melly switched lawyers, he technically had a better lawyer than you had. Because your lawyer literally basically was getting schooled by Bortlen's lawyer at a time coming up. Man, it's crazy.
Proudly staying corrected. And you know what? When Bortlen hits the DOC, I'll reach out to him personally with a, my bad, bro, but cut me a little bit of slack because everybody thought you told. You know what I'm saying? I had a co-defendant that took a proffer and he told everything on me. So when I heard proffer, I'm like, no, Melly's fried. But reaching out and speaking to his lawyer, Joe, who was present in the courtroom with him that day, you know, I'm not a lawyer at the end of the day. None of these guys on YouTube, from Act to Say Cheese to fucking Vlad to Adam22, none of us are lawyers. We've just dealt with so many similar situations that, yeah, we can make a judgment based on what we've already experienced before. We've never heard of a proffer going good. You know what I mean? Like, we've never heard of sitting down with the prosecutors and they're not snitching. But I stand corrected. And I'm proud to, because you know what? Bortlen has held on for 6, damn near 7 years without folding on his man's Melly. And the fact that he's taking this plea
and going out still without folding on him.
Apparently nothing is gonna affect Melly. That's some soldier shit. Because he could have folded a long time ago.
He finna
so
get
like
so
I said,
much
we'll just have
love,
to wait and
bro. I'm
see
trying
when
to
the
tell
proffer actually happens. I'm sure everyone's gonna request
he better get
see what's said.
so much love. Fucking talking about. He deserves it, bro.
Let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Until next time.
I fuck with Jake. I ain't gonna lie. Cool nigga. Bro. But last things I'm gonna say, my last little close out. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I said it, bro. I spoke it right before it even got juicy. I do it every time, bro, because it's just, I just feel like I'm meant to do this shit too. You feel me? Like, people get they inputs based off of what they went through. I kind of do the same based off what I've seen, though. Similar went through and stuff, but, you know, I ain't out here catching no bodies and none of that. And I grew up a pretty smart dude with a man. The most I done did was get caught stealing and some shit. And even then, they had some little program where you can go through some shit, do some little community service, write a little letter, boom, saying you sorry, you know what I'm saying? Woo, pay a little $50 fine, you feel me? And they don't go on your record. I did that shit to make sure, bro. Like, I've always cared about my shit, you know what I'm saying? I kind of tainted my shit a little bit as I got older, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you still learn, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you're 23, 33, 43, you feel me? You still gonna learn, so it's like, it be what it be. But I literally said it. I said, bro, potentially, he ain't gonna say nothing. He potentially could go in there and say some things. He can potentially go in there and lie. He could potentially go in there and it could be just them, like, asking some questions, and all he gotta say is, yeah, no, yeah, now they said whatever. We don't know, bro, because we ain't the ones in the law. We not. You feel me? So, I be speaking this shit, man. This shit finna, yeah. Bro. Like, y'all make sure y'all like this video, man. I know I just be closing out and shit, but, bro, make sure y'all be liking, you feel me? My views be, and I don't be tripping about that, but, like, I really be trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? Actually, like, open y'all brands, gang. No cap. So, tap in with me on, bro. That's that.
Higher than a bitch, I'm off the oil, they don't get it. Running up my money, I'm getting my money. I'm talking about chicken, her little bitch be talking that shit, but her time told that bitch to listen.